Welcome to IELTS Help Test Preparation videos. This lesson and materials are taken from IELTShelp.com. So for lots more practice and help like this, and to watch more videos, please visit us there and join the full course. In this video, we're going to be continuing with part 2 of writing task 2 for the general IELTS. Now that we've finished the understanding and planning of the task 2 question, we're ready to write the essay. So again, this essay is made up of 4 paragraphs: the introduction, body paragraph 1 and 2, and then the conclusion. I'm going to go through each of these paragraphs step by step using the same question that we used in part 1 for the understanding and planning stage. So that question again is writing task 2. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write about the following topic. In some countries, people's weight has significantly increased while their levels of health have decreased. What do you think may be the causes of this problem, and what solutions can you suggest solving them? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. Okay, so of course we're going to use a lot of the information that we thought of as we went through the critical thinking stage of planning. So asking what, why, how about the topic and the controlling idea, and then answering those questions. Okay, the introductory paragraph of the essay, of course, is used to give the idea to the reader of what you will talk about, why you will talk about it, and what kind of points or arguments you're going to make and how you might support those. So there are 3 key parts to an introductory paragraph. The very first part is called the hook. So I'm going to write that now. So introductory paragraph. Now, of course, this is just for your information. Don't write that on the exam paper. So when you begin the introductory paragraph, make sure that you indent 5 spaces. This is a standard in the format of writing. It's generally because that space is used for marking purposes for teachers, examiners, and so on. And then you begin with the hook. So again, don't write this during your exam. This is just for your information. So the first sentence in the introduction is something that catches the reader's attention. So a hook, like a hook that's used for fishing, to catch a fish, in this case, you're of course not catching fish, you're catching the attention of your audience. So the idea to keep in mind is the hook has to be something interesting. Please don't use a question. Sometimes you may hear people suggest that a question is okay for a hook. I disagree with this. Questions are for you to answer in an essay, not for you to ask. So avoid questions for hooks. Instead, create some kind of interesting statement that's strongly connected with the topic and controlling idea of the question. Now, how do you know that you have a good hook? Well, if you read it, or if you have one of your friends read it, your reaction or their reaction should be, huh, or wow, or that's interesting, or I wonder what you're going to say about that. So there should be some kind of reaction of curiosity or excitement. If you don't have this reaction, you should maybe think of a different hook. Okay, so again, we're dealing with people's obesity or being overweight, health issues, and how to solve them. As some of you may know, overweight populations have become such a problem in some countries that it's a national health concern. So maybe writing something about this could make for an interesting hook. So amount of overweight people in some countries have led to a national health crisis. Crisis means some kind of serious problem. So hopefully when the reader reads this sentence, they get interested to read the rest of the essay because it's quite a strong statement. So following the hook, the next step is to give some background information. Now, the idea here is that you need to provide some kind of context for your reader so that they can connect with what you're about to say. The background can be broken into two smaller pieces. One piece is the definition of the terms or the ideas that you will discuss in the paper. So what is your definition of being overweight? What is your definition of health problem? And when you're thinking of definitions for the key terms in the question, try to think of it as something that your audience will be able to either see, imagine, or they will be able to understand through numbers by measuring. So, for example, overweight is somebody who's more than 100 kilograms and 1 meter 70 centimeters tall. So, again, what is your definition? And then the second part, so the first part is the definition. The second part of the background is the importance of the topic. So why should the reader continue on reading here? So why is it important to continue discussing this and continue thinking or arguing about this? Although you've hooked them, you now need to keep them on the hook, and that you can achieve by telling them why this topic is important. So let's write the background. And then we'll give some definitions and let the reader know why this topic might be interesting to continue reading. So here we have the background. Again, the red parts here, please do not write during your exam. This is just to let you know what we're doing here. So so let's say individuals are considered dangerously overweight when their body fat is more than 30% of their weight. And then, of course, remembering back to the part one where we planned this out, why this is important. Well, because when people are overweight, not only is it a health issue, but of course, connected to that is their level of life satisfaction and happiness significantly decreases. So we can use that piece of information to make clear why this topic is important to continue reading about. So in addition to health problems, being overweight brings about low life satisfaction. Okay, so now we have the hook, the background, and then the final piece of our introductory paragraph is our thesis. And of course, that is the single most important piece of your essay. It's the statement that's going to tell your reader exactly what kind of an idea or argument you're going to make, what are your main points for that, and that will tell the reader exactly what you're going to be discussing in the body paragraphs and in the rest of this essay. So, of course, that was the final step in our planning stage. So we're simply going to take that thesis statement and put it to the end here to complete the introductory paragraph. So the final step here is the thesis statement. So of course, when you're doing this during the test, just continue on. I don't have enough space here, so I'm going to erase the top part and then write the thesis there. So in my opinion, the two major causes of obesity. Obesity means somebody is not just a little bit overweight, but unhealthily overweight. So, in my opinion, the two major causes of obesity are lack of exercise and diet, and the solutions are more physical activity and proper eating. So again, this is my thesis statement. It's quite similar to the thesis statement from the planning. And then now it's very, very clear for the reader that in body paragraph 1, I'm most likely going to discuss exercise and the solution of more physical activity. So that's going to be body 1. And then body 2, I'm going to discuss diet, and then as a solution, proper eating. So that finishes the introductory paragraph. Now I have a very clear direction, and I'm ready to continue on with body paragraph 1. So let's write that. All right, so body paragraph 1 begins with a topic sentence. Now, the topic sentence here is the first point of the thesis. So here, of course, our first point is lack of exercise leading to being overweight or being obese. And then, of course, the solution to this is just simply more exercise or more physical activity. So again, remember to indent your 5 spaces because it's something that you need to do for the beginning of each paragraph. And then, of course, the first sentence here is the topic sentence. It's good to keep your hook and your topic sentence fairly simple, just because it's not a good idea to make a mistake right at the beginning of a paragraph. It just looks really bad. It's like a bad first impression. So if you're not sure that the grammar is correct, then maybe just keep it simple. If you're sure that it's correct, then go ahead and try something more complicated. So here, let's continue. Lack of exercise in the daily lives of people can quickly lead to weight problems. Okay, so I'm going to keep it quite simple, and I'm not even going to include the solution yet. I'll talk about that a little bit later. If you do, so if you continue with the topic sentence and say, and this can be solved with more physical activity, that's okay as well. That's another way of doing it. That's fine. All right, so what comes after the topic sentence is the supporting point, which is better explained by saying the explanation. So the explanation of this sentence. Again, remember the important rule that your reader does not know what you know. And even if they know what you know, it's still good for them to hear it, to know that you're thinking the same way that they are. So always give the information really step by step, so that it's just very, very clear. All right, now remember again from the planning why this lack of exercise leads to being overweight, simply because the individual does not use a lot of energy, and that energy gets stored in the body in the form of fat. So let's describe this explanation. So when individuals are not active during the day, the food they eat is stored as fat in the body. Okay, so here we are giving the clear explanation of what happens, so why people become overweight when they're not physically active. And then, of course, we can give an example of this. So again, the example, so this that we just did here is the explanation. I'll write it here, so... And then after you've explained your idea, please remember that humans are very visual. So our world is understood by seeing mostly. So you really want to give some specific example to support your explanation and to make it just very, very clear for the reader what you're talking about exactly. So following the explanation is an example. And again, keep in mind that the example should be as visual as possible. So often people like my friend Mike work at a desk job, such as accounting, and then drive home to watch 3 hours of TV before bed. Okay, so here I'm giving a visual example of a typical day of a person who is not getting enough exercise. All right, so now that I've done this, the person's very clear, or the reader is very clear about the problem. So then I can continue with the second part of this body paragraph, which is, of course, the solution to this problem. So let's see. However, this lack of activity could be remedied with some regular exercise. So, continuing on. Okay, so this is kind of like a second topic within the paragraph here. So again, you're going to need to explain very clearly what you mean by this. And here you might want to combine that with a specific example, especially if you feel that you're not very fast at writing and you might run out of time. Definitely the length of this paragraph is starting to be long enough for a body paragraph that you should write during the task 2 part of the IELTS. So regular exercise. For example, 1 hour of swimming at the community pool will help to burn lots of energy and help to stay fit. So this is the example together with the explanation for the second part of this paragraph. And then of course we need one more sentence, which is the connecting sentence as well. Sometimes you'll hear people say concluding sentence that kind of summarizes the idea of this paragraph and helps to transition or move to the next body paragraph 2. So one more sentence left, the connecting sentence. So, connecting, yeah, sometimes you'll hear a concluding or transition sentence, connecting sentence. And for the IELTS, there's kind of a standard sentence that you can use in a lot of the essays where you basically say that this is one of 2 reasons or one of 2 parts of the argument. Because again, on the IELTS, remember that your thesis should really have about 2 points, not more, not less, and then that will create 2 body paragraphs. So altogether, this way you'll have the 4 paragraphs. So here we can say that this is one of 2 reasons and solutions for being overweight. So this is one cause and a solution for the problem of being overweight. So there we go, that body paragraph now is concluded, and the reader now knows that the second cause of the problem and solution will follow here in body paragraph 2. So let's continue on and write that body paragraph. To see the rest of this video and for a lot more practice, useful instructions, please visit us at gieltshelp.com and start learning for your success on the General IELTS exam.